All right, there we go. Welcome everyone to another show. I'm very excited, to give you guys a Dynasty startup mock. We have a great guest. Ryan is happy, and yeah, it'll be fun. Jesse got in here 47 minutes early with a comment first. I like that. Yeah, Jesse wins. Ryan, would you care to comment?
I put the pillow above the bed because someone made that comment last time. So here we are.
Yeah. So, Jeremy, if you don't know, Ryan's bed is a common.
One time.
Yep. Yeah, Ryan's bed is a common topic. So, anyway,
only takes one time, Ryan.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, be careful! Be careful what that's saying. That could mean a lot of things. But, I don't know. I don't know too much about your personal life. So, but anyway, tell the people about you. Yeah, because I'm terrible and interested. Tell the people about you.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at PopesFFH. That's kind of where I do a lot of stuff at. I have a lot of writing work over at FTN as well as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I have a podcast. We've been kind of on a hiatus, a lot of stuff going on in both mine and my co-host personal life, so we haven't really been getting too much involved with that as of late, but hopefully by the time the season starts, we'll have that going. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's me.
Yeah, that sounds good. Is there anything specific you want to tell the people?
Nah, I mean, reach out. I'm always here to help, dynasty questions, redraft questions, anything like that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really have much, I'm pretty boring, even keeled person. I like the Bills, my favorite team. So, it's a good time to be alive for that, Wasn't for the first 20 years of my life, but we're getting there.
You have a comment on this?
Oh, look at that. Yeah, background. Javonte Swift and Dobbins have a year. Oh, wait, what? Yeah. All right. I'm a little confused, but yeah.
Behind you. The jerseys behind you.
Look behind you.
Yeah. What? Those are there? Thank you. I appreciate that, Will.
All right. One day we're gonna start the stream, and instead of a bed, it's just gonna be a hot tub or something random.
Don't tempt me. I'm gonna be on vacation during one of our shows, and I will pull this out. I will do it.
Don't tempt me. I mean, I
think it'd be better if you got one of those inflatable pools and put it on your bed.
Just left it right there.
Yeah, like take the mattress off and stick the inflatable pool on it.
If I get pissed off enough, don't even tell me what I could do. I mean, who knows what I could do? We could have a challenge or something. Would be exciting. No, in case it is not abundantly obvious, I am not great today, but that's okay. We will still do the show. It'll still be fun, I promise. Anyway,
jelly beans.
Wow.
And as long as the jelly beans don't get tainted, so you can eat them.
True.
I mean, I'll be honest now. It's okay today. Honestly, today I kind of need it, so go for it. With the silly stuff.
Potatoes.
I'll give you ideas.
Yeah. I whatever. I don't care. I never liked jelly beans. Never ever liked them. Even as a kid, I never liked them. Never. I always thought they tasted like shit. I never liked them.
You have to get like specific ones.
No, I'm not. I never liked them.
Really?
Never. They were disgusting. They tasted like I was putting like a wax farm in my mouth.
Makes
wax
sense.
Farm, whatever that is. That's not a thing.
But
They're
waxy,
wax is not
I get
farmed.
what you're saying.
And those are the good flavors, not the terrible ones, like the challenge ones that they do.
Like the Harry Potter ones?
No, I don't know if it's Harry Potter, but like the toothpaste, the boogers, whatnot.
I'm eating
lawn clippings.
The Starburst ones are pretty good.
I've never
Starburst
had
ones
them.
are.
Never had them.
All
pretty
right.
good.
Well, before we just
And
talk about
small.
jelly beans, and I will.
You're gonna get
talk
me into a
about-
rant on candy real quick.
Well, it
We
could
could do that all
happen.
day.
But the point is, what was the point? Oh, right, the show sheet. Yeah, it's a fucking wax farm. I don't know. The wax could be farmed. I mean, who knows? Like, who knows
Definitely.
where we are? All right. Two tight end, two tight end, two tight end premium. Oh, that's a lot for tight end. AJ Brown for Jacobs and Schultz. I'll still take AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's close though. Schultz is gonna put up a lot of points in that format.
It's not close.
Especially in Dynasty, it's not close. Schultz will be
It's not
gone in a year.
Yeah,
They're not going to pay
I
him
don't know about
unless
that,
they keep
but-
franchise tagging him. But
Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, it's still AJ Brown, even with that format. Wow, your wall is balanced with failure and success.
kind of
To
is,
be
you know,
fair,
like we got like ACL. You know, we got. I don't know how we do this. Other men, gambling. Other way. How do we go? Gambling.
Yeah,
Injuries on the bottom. They're all kind of injury prone.
not really Javante. Javante
not
never
yet.
missed games.
No,
Did
not
he even
yet.
miss games in college? I don't remember him having any major college injuries either.
No, not really.
Javante is good. The other ones maybe more injuries. All right, Ryan, show sheet.
Yeah, let's get back on somewhat of a track, I guess. I mean, the Colts signed Philip Lindsay. We have a lot of minor stuff to talk about. It's like, we're in the middle of the offseason. We're done with the draft. We're done with rookie season. Redraft's not quite here yet. Scott Fishbowl is coming up, though. Congrats to all those got in. But, yeah, I mean, Colts signing Philip Lindsay. I think it's a good signing. I mean, Philip Lindsay's good.
I think I did my video on it, and I think I said that nobody cares. So if you want to watch me say that nobody cares for 55 seconds, you can go and click on the Philip Lindsay video on this YouTube channel, and give it a like and a comment.
About how nobody cares because nobody should.
Yeah, pretty much.
Unless you're a real football fan, then maybe.
Unless you really like Philip Lindsay.
Yeah,
and some people do. Some people do. He's a good story, but he hasn't done anything in many years. Next.
It's been a while. But yeah, Chris Godwin and his injury timetable. I haven't heard much about this.
Well, it seems like it's going to take a long time. So that could be a problem. I don't want to hear about that. I mean, once we start hearing that it's going to take a long time, then it could take longer. So that doesn't sound so good. But the good news is that they already gave him the contract extension. So I'm a little bit less worried than I would be for a player who didn't. We've heard some of the same things about Michael Gallup, and I haven't been as concerned for a similar reason. They're very similar ages, I think almost with a month, Gallup and Godwin. And both of them already have their long-term deal locked in. So while I might be concerned about it, not as concerned as I would be for players that don't have the guaranteed money, further down the line. But yeah, it's not great. I would like him to play week 1. That would be better, wouldn't it?
For sure. I don't think he's week 1 ready.
No, I don't think so either.
You'll be lucky to see him by 6 would be my guess. I mean, he tore that ACL pretty late. What was it, week 10? Or no, what was it?
I mean,
no, it was week 5. It was right in the playoffs. So it was like, what, 15?
Yeah. He was in the border of like a first-round startup pick for me when he tore his ACL.
Yeah. He's
I was all in.
guy.
Yeah. He's really been good, but unfortunately hurts. So this trade, if it were DK instead of AJ Brown, it's still DK. It's closer. I mean, I like AJ Brown better.
Yeah, definitely closer, but probably DK.
Yeah.
I just don't like Jacobs anymore. So I don't want him.
I'm really worried for Josh Jacobs, to be honest.
Well, they don't like him, obviously. I mean, if they liked him, they would have picked up the 5th-year option. It's not very expensive. It's like $8 million. They would have picked it up if they. I mean, that's not a big risk. $8 million for a play. He's only 24 now. He just turned 24. He'd be 25 next season. That's not a big risk. They would have picked up the option, but they didn't pick up the option. They didn't do that. So
I'm really curious to see where he would go because, like you said, he's 24, so he'll be 25 next year, hitting free agency if he has a decent year. Should be interesting with the really loaded 23 class coming in. It should be interesting to see where he goes. But you see that coaching staff and McDaniels coming over. I mean, look at the Patriots. They've never paid a running back. $8 million's a lot for a Patriots running back.
Who was the last clear starting running back really to hit free agency? I mean, who have you really had over the years? There's actually not that many the times that a running back has hit free agency as an obvious starter, someone who's obviously a starter. And what is there? There's Le'Veon Bell. There's 2019 Le'Veon Bell. That was a disaster. You could argue when he went
Gordon. Connor. There's an argument.
There's an argument, but
when did that happen though?
Last 2 years ago.
No, I mean he signed in Arizona as backup, and now he re-signed before he hit free agency this time. So that's not really the same thing. It's really Gordon, Bell, and there are not many examples for obvious reasons, because most of the time the teams actually end up agreeing with these running backs, and then by the time they actually hit free agency, they're too old. And
you can make an argument for Fournette, I guess, maybe. He kind of got cut. It wasn't really free agency.
Yeah, not really. Cut, no, but... he signed as a backup. He signed as Ronald Jones's backup. He became the starter later, but that's not really how that happened. It's really Melvin Gordon and Bell, but Jacobs would be the next one. A player who I think is clearly a starter. I mean, I think it's clear that Josh Jacobs is a starting running back in the NFL. I think
even a 3-down guy. He proved he could catch the ball last year.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he could play on all 3 downs, but I just think that he just doesn't seem. Why would you want to give him all 3 downs? He's not that good. I think he's okay. He's good, but I think if you give him all the touches, I don't think he's going to wear down. I don't really like that. So I think he'll form a committee on his next team, but he's a starter. I mean, there are a lot of teams where he would go and immediately be the best running back on the team by a wide margin. I mean, Atlanta for sure. And then, there's other, Miami, he would be the best running back on that team by quite a bit. So, there are options for him, but those players don't tend to work out. Really. I mean, neither Gordon nor Bell was all that. I mean, Bell was actually in his first year with the Jets was okay. Mm-hmm. Gordon was okay both years, but it will be weird to have a 25-year-old first-round running back free agent. I don't know if we've had that ever. So
that's going to be interesting. It's the age, because even like when Gordon came out, I mean, he was what, 27, 26.
I think he was 27.
He was closer to 27.
He was 27 when he signed with the Broncos. That'll be weird. You could sign Jacobs to a 3-year contract and buy 25, 26, and 27, and you're not buying any of the declining years. So I do think that's going to be a very interesting free agency, I think, when it comes up. And there's always a possibility the Raiders decide to extend him anyway. I mean, just because they didn't pick up the option doesn't mean they can't change their mind later.
Yeah.
And go in a different direction. All right, I know we want to trade back in startups to exploit our league mates' mistakes, but what would make you say fuck it and trade for the 101? Give me a too good to pass up offer as a template. I have never seen it. I've never seen it. I've never seen a trade up for this go for any price I would ever like. So I don't have any experience with ever liking the trade up offer.
Are we talking like a startup 1-1? The
startup
1-1 is like
Josh Allen in the Superflex. That's what it is. But
I mean, you're going to give up a lot.
But that's what I'm saying. It's
going to be like too much. Your team's going to be so top heavy.
Exactly. But I'm saying I have never liked the offer. So I can't give you an example.
Yeah. I don't like to go up. Like I'm fine with staying. I always like to trade back. I don't mind that. But if you're, late first, sure, trade back just because your options probably aren't great. But like I'm never for trying to get to 1-1 just because of the cost. And I love Josh Allen and all, but like you're still going to get a good quarterback anywhere. But in the first 8 picks, that is a decent super flex quarterback. So I would.
So I actually did trade up for the 101 this offseason.
Did you?
I did. So I guess we could rate my trade because I've done it once. I picked Mahomes because I just wanted Mahomes on one of my teams. I know it wasn't the optimal pick, but This was before Tyreek was traded too. So I traded the 110 in the startup, the 410, and a 23-second for the 101 and the 1101.
All right, so that's not bad. That's not terrible. I wouldn't hate it. I mean, because you said 410, 110.
And a 23-second, yeah.
I've seen worse. That's okay.
Yeah, I definitely contemplate moving that. For sure.
Even that, though, I'm not overly ecstatic about it.
Yeah, because 4 is really your optimal kind of, for me at least, a running back or wide receiver spot there.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I totally get that.
I don't see how this helps. It doesn't change anything. Curtis Martin?
I think that was the last starting running back.
Yeah, starting running back to really hit for you. I mean, yeah, if you go way back, it happened more often. But yeah. Hey.
Hi.
That's a link to the mock draft. All right. Do we have any second or third round receivers drafted in 2021 poised to break out this year? Minus Elijah Moore. Okay. So from the 2021 class, is there anyone you're looking at as a breakout? So why don't you guys start?
So it's specifically second and third round.
Second or third, yeah. Ooh, it's a really tough spot because that was like Terrace Marshall, Rondale Moore.
It's not a good list.
Diami Brown, was Amari Rogers third? Yeah, he was.
It's not a good list, to be honest with you.
If I had to choose one, it would probably be Nico Collins, but it feels like a default choice at this point.
I mean, here's the entire pool of that player. Let's say we exclude Elijah Moore, as was said. Here's the entire pool in order. Rondale Moore, Dwayne Eskridge, Tutu Atwell, Terrace Marshall, Josh Palmer, Diami Brown, Amari Rogers, Nico Collins, Anthony Schwartz. That's the entire pool. Of those players, Atwell, Eskridge, Brown, and Schwartz are totally irrelevant. Totally irrelevant. They're completely dead. And Amari Rogers and Marshall are like on their last legs to me. I have almost no interest in either of them. So the only players that have any value at all are Palmer, Collins, and Rondale. But I would not bet on any of them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I feel like Nico Collins is your most likely. And then followed by, I think, Amari Rogers, if he gets a shot.
Amari Rogers sucks, man.
Yeah, like, he's not so great. Bad. I'm just saying, with his opportunity, he could have a shot.
There will be no opportunity. I mean, he's so bad. He is so bad. He cannot do anything. I don't want any part of him. I don't think he makes it onto the field. I don't know why he would. It's already bad. We have to hear that he's in the best shape of his life. That means he was out of shape last year. So he came in out of shape. So we started off last year out of shape. So that doesn't sound good. He didn't come to camp last year in shape. So he did not get onto the field as a rookie. And there was plenty of opportunity. The competition was terrible, but he didn't get on the field. So he wasn't very good. So because he wasn't very good, I don't want to start with someone who's already a failure. So we don't want that. The only one of these players who actually, I would say, exceeded their expectations is probably Nico Collins, who had no expectations whatsoever, and was actually finished second on the team in targets. So
Josh Palmer did all right.
Josh Palmer, I feel like everyone knew that Josh Palmer was a project, and he, all things considered, actually received a decent amount of playing time. But honestly, I feel like Josh Palmer met expectations for me. Like, he did about what I thought he would, whereas Nico Collins exceeded expectations. And
Nico Collins anymore? After John
not
Mechie?
Really, no, not really, because they extended Brandon Cooks, and that's locked down for 2023 at least, and dead cap wise. And then John Mechie, I think, is a superior player. So I don't see how Nico Collins gets there, but he did actually look pretty good. So a player that's talented, I'm not going to just write off, even if the situation is awful. but I don't have him ranked very high just because the path is not there. He's not that good.
And it's the offense, they don't score a lot of touchdowns. Can it sustain 3 wide receivers? We're not talking about the Bengals or the Bills or the Cardinals here. We're talking about we're talking about a lower echelon offense.
2 wide receivers. They can't even have 2. So how it can't possibly have 3? It's not going to have 3. But the good news is, it's not good news, but for Collins, that Mechie, I do not think is going to be ready to play week 1. So from his ACL tear. So Collins will get a little bit of opportunity, maybe 4, 5, 6 weeks to kind of see if he's going to make that second-year leap. Because if he makes the leap, then, he might retain that role even when Mechie returns. But his window is limited. If he doesn't impress, when Mechie is out, then when Mechie returns, then I just expect Collins to go bye-bye.
Yeah.
But at least he has a chance. David Montgomery is the same situation as Josh Jacobs. Essentially, yes. But I feel like the Bears are more interested in retaining David Montgomery than the Raiders with Josh Jacobs. There's no evidence to back up that claim out. Well, there's evidence as to why the Raiders don't like Josh Jacobs. There's really no evidence to suggest that the Bears actually do want to retain David Montgomery. There's no evidence that says so.
I think they would just hold
that
them.
Way.
Yeah, I think they would just hold them on the basis until they're going to kind of see what Justin Fields is, see how the team looks this year, and then kind of, I would think, would reassess everything.
Yeah, it just feels like they're going to keep him. But they're really, there's no evidence of that. Thoughts on Juju? That's not necessary. We know that I hate Juju, I think, at this point. Juju is so overrated. And, it's telling that nobody wanted him. In free agency, nobody wanted him. Nobody wanted him on their team. Nobody wanted him. And he had to take an incentive-laden deal to even get an opportunity. So I don't think so. I don't think he's very good. And I don't want him on my fantasy team. I would not have wanted my NFL team to sign him either. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. I did read the whole list, though.
Can I start this one off? I really have something to say here.
This one?
Yeah, this one, because we're 3 months away. We're 3-4 months away from lineup season. You do not have to make a move now. I just need to get that out of the way. I mean, you are loaded at wide receiver, but take the deal if it comes to you, if it's good. If not, you can wait it out.
Yeah.
That's way too early. You don't know. You know what I mean? Look at last year, you lost J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards,
Cam Akers,
Cam Akers, all ETN, all before week 1 of the season. You
want to wait to trade for a running back till the last possible minute, right?
Until at least week 1, so you get at least we got one play of Raheem Mostert. You know what I mean? So
one play. I think we had one play.
At least you got one play out of him.
That's true. He did score a lot of fantasy points on that one play. All right, let's run through the show sheet.
Yep. All right. Next up, we have Kadarius Toney's knee scope, which is kind of funny because our next question in the chat is about Kadarius Toney as well.
All right, we'll talk about the Toney knee scope. So Toney and Wandale are Hollywood. So okay, so let's talk about that. So right now in New York, there's an infestation of failure. So big failure, Daniel Jones is going to be the quarterback. And that doesn't sound very good because he has not looked like a competent quarterback. He is awful. So we don't want that. We don't want him to be the quarterback. And then Kadarius Toney, now a new problem, a new knee scope. I don't want that. Now he didn't show up to the training camp his rookie year. I don't know what he did with his feet, but there was something with his feet rookie year. There was a problem. And then he only played 4 games, and there were a lot of injuries. And then at other times, that coaching staff did not want to give him more snaps. Now this offseason, there's more problems. The team wants to trade him away. And now there's another knee scope another issue that's going to cause him to miss more time. So I don't want to hear about that. I mean, this just sounds like everything is bad. So that's not a player that I want on my team. For those reasons, actually, maybe Wan'Dale Robinson is a player I would like on my team because if Kadarius Toney can't hack it, somebody has to do something for the Giants. And the Giants did spend a second-round pick on Wan'Dale Robinson. You don't spend a second-round pick on someone if you don't have plans for them. So he'll get an opportunity. But with that said, this trade is easy. I'll take Hollywood Brown every day. I mean, Like, it's a lot of infestation of failure for big success. I mean, Hollywood Brown last year actually put up fantasy numbers for the whole season, whereas those two didn't do anything. And now he has a quarterback upgrade and a much better offense with Nuke out for the first 6 games. I mean, this is an easy decision, right?
I 100% agree.
Yeah,
it's Hollywood. Yeah. Like Tony and Wanda, even Tony proved. I mean, he had a couple good weeks, but like
2 good games.
Yeah, he's not like
games. I mean, anybody
crazy
can have 2 good
good. You know what I mean?
Isaiah McKenzie had plenty of good games. Yeah. 2 good games.
To be honest, Isaiah McKenzie, bringing him in is a perfect example because that's what Wandell and Tony are going to be used as, is Isaiah McKenzie's role in Brian Daboll's offense. We've seen it at Buffalo. You know,
I didn't bring him up by accident. You
know what I mean? Like, that's like the perfect fit for what these 2 players are going to be, where Hollywood Brown's proven he can be a perimeter wide receiver, has the speed on, like you said, a better passing offense that's going to be willing to unload the football, and his only competition is Rondell Moore, another gadget guy, and AJ Green and Antoine Wesley. So yeah,
don't forget about Andy Isabella. Andy Isabella is still there.
Yeah, okay, but I'm still gonna take the bona fide wide receiver 1 for 6 weeks in Kyler Murray's offense, all injuries aside. So
it's easy. I mean, his ADP for redraft early, like the early best ball returns, Hollywood almost has a round 3 ADP. Like,
what is he among wide receivers?
He is wide receiver 18, right behind Deontay, right ahead of Metcalf.
So it's exactly where I have him, actually, why I have him wide receiver 18 as well for redraft. So I agree with that ADP. I'm right in line. So we're good on Hollywood Brown. Zach Moss in a 23-second or Brandon Cooks. So 23-second for Brandon Cooks because Zach failure is not a part of my plans. He's not going to make the Bills team this year, I don't think. I don't see why he would, because he actually detracts from the offense when he's on the field. I think they would be better off without him. I think that he actually gets in the way. So if they just removed him from the field, the offense would be more successful because it takes so long. He gets the ball that it's going to be 20 minutes before he gets to the line of scrimmage. And I can't have that on an offense that's supposed to be moving very fast. 20 minutes doesn't work for me. So we don't want him.
Big. He got swole. See his camp photos?
Is that going to make him run any faster?
No, it's going to make him slower. But
that sounds bad. I don't want
a tank.
I mean, he was already terrible at every part of being a running back. So now it's going to be even worse. Essentially, he's irrelevant. But the rest of it, look, I mean, if you're a contending team and this is what you need, I could understand why you would pay a 23-second for Brandon Cooks. I don't have an issue with that. To be honest, I think it's fine.
As a contender, you figure you're going to be late second, so you're talking 2.9 to 2.12, and the class is really good next year. But like, you're still throwing a major dart that late in the second round. So I'll take Brandon Cooks, who's proven for 10 seasons now that he can get basically 1,000 yards every single season, at least 4 or 5 touchdowns. You know, and he did it with Davis Mills last year at the end of the year. So it's not like you have any quarterback questions either there. So
for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Debo Samuel, Robert Woods, 23 third for Cooper Kupp and a 23 second.
I'd do it.
Yeah.
I'll take Kupp.
I'll take the Kupp side,
Kupp side, yeah.
We know his quarterback's going to be, even though it's probably going to be Lance for Debo.
And even at that, I mean, Debo's proven sometimes he can't stay healthy. Robert Woods is a 30-year-old wide receiver coming off an ACL that I don't necessarily love, even if he's a wide receiver 1. But like,
people keep telling me that Robert Woods is going to do something. And I think that Robert Woods is absolutely cooked. Like he's
going to be all right, but he isn't going to be like. It's not like he's going to be a wide receiver 1. He's going to be lucky if he hits the wide receiver 2s just because of the injury. You know what I mean? He's 30 years old coming off an ACL.
Last year, Robert Woods had lost a step. He did not look like 2021 Robert Woods was a step back from 2018, 2019, 2020 Robert Woods. 2021 Robert Woods had lost the step already. And now we have a torn ACL. It's not going to be better. It's not going to be an improvement. He's not going to get the step back. Now it's a question of, are we going to get 1 step lost Robert Woods, or is it going to be 3 steps? I think it's going to be more like 3 steps. So I don't want any part of that. To me, I would say if I'm being generous, the 23 second for Woods and a 23 third is fair, more or less. And then I'd rather have Kupp over Debo. So Kupp side. Tyreek Hill for a 23 first and Bateman rebuild. So I'll go in first, and then you guys can go. So for me, if it's a rebuild and it's this or nothing, I'll take this. I wish I could do better. It's not my first choice. Bateman is not my first choice of a player that I want. He's not the top of my list. I would like it. I would like it a lot better if this were Elijah Moore, for example, and a 23 first. I would like that way better. I believe in Elijah Moore as a talent far more. But if it's a rebuild and it's this or nothing, I would take this over nothing. Put it that way.
Yeah, I might be cool with this package regardless. I mean, I know Lamar, we're going to talk about that in a little bit too. Lamar's contract issues we don't know where they're at, but I don't know what Tyreek Hill's going to do with Tua this season. I'm a little pessimistic about that. And in a rebuild, I'll take it.
Yeah, I think now's the time to move Tyreek Hill.
I agree with that.
Ryan. You know, like we've seen what Tua's done. I mean, he's probably going to be fine. We saw what Tua did with Waddle. So, I mean, they're kind of essentially the same player. So, you know, both fast, speedy guys that you just need to get the ball in their hand and they do everything for you. So, I think he'll be all right. I do expect a decline to start coming, basically age and the offense.
With it. Yeah.
And like, I would prefer someone better than Bateman just because I think Tyreek Hill still holds the value that you should be able to get somebody better than that.
And that's kind of what I'm saying. Yeah.
I like the 23 first and Bateman because I do like Bateman, but I really think you could probably plug in, like you said, an Elijah Moore. You could even possibly like a Michael Pittman. Like you could get somebody, I think, a lot better, a DJ Moore. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you might. It's a little high. You
can't get
like,
DJ Moore, but
DJ Moore's a little.
You know, like somebody that has a little bit more value, I think, than Bateman.
Yeah, if you were in a real rebuild, I would like Elijah Moore more than Pittman because Pittman's young, but Elijah Moore is really young. So that's why I suggested him. But anyway, I'm going to run through these and then we'll go back to the show sheet. So yeah, rebuild. The rationale for people being so high on Jahan Dotson, it's because he was a first round pick. Traded for Justin Jefferson, gave up the 101, Godwin, Dylan, and Tony in a 12-team 1 QB. I think you massively overpaid. That is not a good trade. I give you an F. And you know, we tell it like it is here. I'm gonna get people, or some people are on Twitter are like, well, you know, I don't like it. Why ask? You know, if you don't want me to tell you the truth, why ask? Like, there's no point. Believe me, a lot of fantasy analysts do this. They actually just are like, yeah, you know, I could see it was a good move. You know, and it's like, what good does that do you? How does that help anybody? So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. If you made a bad trade, I'll tell you that you made a bad trade and do better next time. And then I'll be nicer when it's a better trade. What's your thoughts on Mike Williams? Would you hold, sell now, or wait till a boom week and sell? I would go with option 3. I think he has the contract, so you can afford to wait for it. So that's what I would do.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen at some point.
I agree.
He put up too many weeks last year where it's going to happen at least once, right?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. It doesn't trade much as best you can do. Yeah. I kind of said that. Cam Akers or Smith and Claypool. Devonta Smith, Chase Claypool. I'll take Cam Akers. I don't want those players at all. I'm looking for one of these. Move one of these wide receivers for IDP, which I don't do. But, you know, who do I rank lowest among? Dotson, Pickens, Tony, Juju, Olave, and Bell. Well, for the reasons that we discussed earlier, Tony for me is the lowest of those. I just want no part of him. None. I think it's much more likely Juju resurrects his career than Tony. Tony is a complete hands-off, avoid, no part of player for me. I don't want him. Jesse asked, Diggs and Pollard went for DJ Moore in 23 first. I'll take DJ Moore in 23 first.
Wow.
Yeah, that's felt like an overpay. Appreciate it. Yeah, no problem. I mean, I want to tell it like it is. You know, I want to give you good fantasy advice, not necessarily the advice to just, you know, I give advice that helps you win games. Maybe not the advice that makes you feel better. Deshaun Turner, what's the lowest you move Cortland Sutton for? That is a complicated question. I would say I'd like to get a first back for him, but I understand if you can't. Give me some ideas of what you could do. Yeah, definitely DJ Moore, surprised at the trade. Having a tough time trading McLaurin for 23 first would be too much to add Connor to McLaurin to get a 23 first. That seems, I wish you could do better than that. I really do. I feel like that's overkill, right? To trade McLaurin and Connor for just one first. That seems.
And if you're trying to get a 23 first, just wait until McLaurin has, you know, a 24 point week with.
You can wait.
Or Connor might even blow up and a team really gets a running back injury, and you might be able to con somebody into a first that way.
Maybe.
Highly unlikely, but you might be able to. You know what I mean? Like there could be a lot. People make some bad trades in season.
This is it right here. I think you should. Yeah. I agree with John. He says you should be able to get a first and a second for McLaurin and Connor, and I agree. In a rebuild, I think you should be able to get more than just first. Let's go to the next thing on the show sheet.
All right, next up, I was looking at the mock draft. We have one more spot to fill, and then we're good to go. So, next up, we got Geno Smith taking the early edge over Drew Lock.
Let's ignore that. That's great. That's great.
It's worth mentioning at this point.
No, that's fine. But I think that the more important thing is I put that one next to the next one because I feel like, yes, that's great. Geno Smith has an early edge over Drew Lock, but I think it's not really relevant because of the next bullet point. Yeah.
The Panthers and Seahawks are still open with Baker trade. Panthers are still in on Jimmy G. Of course, we've known this forever.
And I still to this day believe that Jimmy Garoppolo will start week 1 for the Panthers and Baker Mayfield will start week 1 for the Seahawks. Now, if Deshaun Watson is suspended for the entire, and I think it has to be the entire, not 10 games, not 12, not 8. I think this only comes into play if Deshaun Watson is suspended for all of the games. If Deshaun Watson is suspended for all of the games, I see a universe in which Baker Mayfield starts for the Browns in 2022. I really do. Because I think, look, I get like this too. Like sometimes it's emotional, right? You have emotions about something. You're mad about something. I get this way too. I mean, you guys, I'm sure, can relate. We're human beings. Everyone gets mad. But I think if Baker thinks about it, and that's the reality of the situation, then I think he will look at it and see that his best audition opportunity to get a real starting job in 2023 is to play the season for Cleveland and then move on. Where is he going? He's not going to be better in the other 2 locations. And the Browns' asking price would only increase if Watson were gone. So I will say that if Watson is suspended for the entire season, and the Vegas odds say are minus 250 last time I checked on Baker but being on the Browns week 1, minus 250. So that's what they think is going to happen. So, I guess I do see the reality in some respects that either the Panthers or the Seahawks, and I would be the Seahawks, I believe, would lose out on the quarterback sweepstakes. But even in that case, I really do find it hard to believe that they actually go in with Drew Lock and Geno Smith. I can't believe that. Like, I don't believe them. But if they do, I would be very surprised, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like the Seahawks are committed to just being bad.
Yeah.
And like they're going to roll with what they got, and they're going to take their shot to try and get Stroud or Young or one of these other guys that kind of steps up and take that shot at them versus trying to go after Baker, who's we've seen as just like a average run-of-the-mill quarterback who can get you some wins, but necessarily might not get you to the promised land. So
I still believe, though, that if it's Drew Lock and Geno Smith, Drew Lock starts. I still believe that.
Yeah, no even if Geno Smith starts week 1, Drew Lock will play in a very short period of time.
I also think that there's a possibility that something like this happens. If, let's say, that Baker stays in Cleveland and plays in Cleveland and the Panthers trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, I do think that there's a possibility that something like Sam Darnold could end up on the Seahawks at a cut right. Because actually Sam Darnold's in the same contract situation as Baker. Mm-hmm. Money that they don't want to pay. And but they have no incentive to really trade him, no incentive to cut him unless someone's going to take a lot of the salary. So, I just think that you could see Sam Darnold, who I still think is better than Drew Lock or Geno Smith by a good margin. And I hate Sam Darnold. How about adding Renfro or Juju instead of Connor? It doesn't. Sure, that's better, but it doesn't really change anything. Yeah, unfortunately, I would just keep trying. Godwin, Burks, and Sky, or AJ Brown and Waller. AJ Brown and Waller.
I'd probably take the Godwin side to be on. I mean, if you're in a full rebuild, I'll take the Godwin side, kind of, just because you're getting Burks and Sky more.
That's very close. Good.
rookies, but like
that's very close.
I'm a little worried about Waller too. I'm sure some people
I am very worried about Waller.
I'm worried because of the way that he plays. If with Renfro's breakout, like is Renfro going to continue to be that type of a factor? And is now Devontae Adams is going to command a lot of those targets that Waller gets in the middle. So
it does feel like it's either or. Either Darren Waller is not going to be a top 5 tight end, or Hunter Renfrow is not going to be like a top 30 wide receiver. Like it feels like those. I don't think I see the universe in which Derek Carr is Devontae Adams is a top 5 wide receiver, Hunter Renfrow is a top 30 wide receiver, and Darren Waller is a top 5 tight end. I don't see that as happening. So I think something has to give, but I don't know if it's going to be Waller or Renfrow. I lean that it'll be Renfrow that gives, and Waller more successful, but that's just a lean. Well, that's true. Everyone always needs running backs. Win a moving Connor, and Waller has never had the target competition. Well, nobody is target competition like Devontae Adams, so that's hard to compare. Next, what's next?
The Amari Rodgers hype.
I think I've already trashed Amari Rodgers enough for one show. But if there's any sell window on Amari Rodgers, I would take any 4th round pick at all. Just get rid of him. He is so bad. He was a terrible prospect coming in. The Packers made a huge mistake, big mistake in drafting him. He had no skills, none. I don't see why he was drafted in the 3rd round. He was boring Rodgers at Clemson. He really did not stand out from the pack at all. And then, he didn't get on the field, and then he was not in shape as a rookie. So, and now clearly they don't like him. They're, more interested, I think, in Christian Watson and Alan Lazard, as those are going to be their top 2 receivers, it looks like. And, Amari Rodgers, I think, is competing for a roster spot at this point. He is not it. Baker and 23 4th for Justin Jackson, Larry Roundtree, and Matt Corral. I'll take Baker.
Yeah, why not at that point?
Yeah, why not? I'll take Baker.
If Baker starts at any point, you could get more for him. So
I think it's more likely that Baker has a real starting job again than Matt Corral has one in the first place. To be honest.
I mean, I'd pretty much probably steal that. I don't know if Justin Jackson signed anywhere, but
he has not.
Pretty sure the Chargers cut him. So
he didn't cut him. His rookie contract was up, and he is not signed anywhere. So,
you're trading like no player. You're playing basically non-fantasy relevant player at all.
Well, I also don't think Larry Roundtree is not going to make the team after they drafted Isaiah Spiller, and I think Joshua Kelly is ahead of him. So I don't think Larry Roundtree is even going to make the team.
Yeah, that's kind of like stealing Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I would take Baker. I mean, I do think that the odds are that Baker Mayfield starts this year. Yeah. I really think that Baker Mayfield either starts for the Browns if Watson is suspended, or he starts for Seattle. I really think Baker Mayfield starts this year. I really do. Still. Louis says, Sky and Burks or Mooney Hawk in a late 23 first. I would like some context about, like, is this tight end premium? Is this super flex? I don't really need it. I'm probably going to take the side with the first anyway. Yeah. Sky Moore and Darnell Mooney essentially cancel out to me. They're almost exactly the same value. And I think this came up on last week's show with Rich. He also, I believe, had them almost identical. If I'm wrong about that, I'm sorry. But that's I think I remember it that way. Non-tight end premium 1 QB. So that's the best case scenario for taking the Burke side. But I'm still not going to. I'll still take the other side. All right, next. What's next on the show sheet?
All right, what's next? We got the Colts and 2 other teams are interested in T.Y. Hilton. So,
well, I'm not interested in T.Y. Hilton.
You burned me last year. So
why? Well, I mean, it could have been worse. You could have been in on Paris Campbell. That would have been much worse.
Oh, we got to bring that one up. I'm gonna have to double down just cause.
I actually saw a report. It said Paris Campbell is 100% healthy. It's what it said. He said he was 100% healthy, so he claims. So I would be very out. I don't think so. But yeah, T.Y. Hilton is still better than Paris Campbell.
It's Paris Campbell's underdog ADP 213. Yeah, I'm in.
I'm out.
I'm in at 213. Come
I'm
on
out.
now. Come on.
No, I'm out
Come
at
on.
213. No. I'd rather draft T.Y. Hilton and hope he signs with the team. Seriously.
I'd be in on Campbell at 213.
Oh, please don't. You'll get burned again.
Probably,
but we're not
I always
interested in
love getting
T.Y.
burned.
We're not interested in T.Y. Hilton, right?
Not really.
No. All right. Kyler Murray, as of today, is not at training camp. Ooh. Are we worried about this?
Very I feel like he makes it by the season and just another one that, he's got to deal with some contract issues and woes, and he'll get over it.
I think
the agent will tell him to start him.
I think they sign it personally. Yeah. For this question, anyone have experience in a Dynasty League with player salaries? I don't, and since I don't, there are plenty of people who specialize in this. I occasionally run into it through my Patreon, but honestly, I just the kind of thing that's hard even to do through there, because I can't follow the league format when it's that different. So it's tough, but a lot of people are really into that. It's honestly not really my thing. And I just don't enjoy it. So I've never had much interest in learning. Okay, McLaurin and Tony for 23 first are the same shit. Of the ones you suggested, that's the best one. I still would like to do a little bit better, but McLaurin is not that old. I don't feel like this is my last chance to ever move McLaurin and get any value at all. Like, I'm not desperate like I am with James Conner, where I would just take anything if I'm in a rebuild. With McLaurin, I'm not desperate. So I don't love this either. So I would just wait. Deshaun Turner, you're all are awesome, and I appreciate the help.
I wish you could point in the right direction. There's a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't have any analysts where I can personally vouch for their experience with salary cap leagues. There's some content and some people at DLF who are good at that, but I don't have, since I don't play salary cap leagues, I don't, and contract leagues, I just don't have any personal experience. I will say, if you want to listen to the Commission Impossible podcast, it'll give you some ideas about how to run contract and salary cap leagues. So if you're interested in that side of it, that's a good resource, and it's in the DLF family of podcasts, so I would check that out. But as for actually playing those things, since I don't play them, I don't listen to podcasts about it, so I can't help you that much.
I played a season. I didn't enjoy it too much, so.
And my interactions with it through my Patreon, I will honestly tell you that I do not enjoy it either.
Yeah, I did one last year, and it wasn't great.
I don't find it fun in any way. I don't find it challenging. Or honestly, I'll put it this way: I enjoy playing board games and strategy games. If I want to do that, I'm just going to go to play board games with my friends. I don't have an interest in mixing that strategy with fantasy football. I'd love to do. I was national chess champion. I don't know if people know that about me growing up, and I love strategy games, but I just like to do that on my own time. When I play fantasy football, that's a different part of my brain. That's a different thing that I'm interested in. So I just don't care for mixing those things together. So I just don't enjoy salary cap leagues or contracts leagues or anything of the like. If you can get a 23 first after that boom week, I'll take 23 first Mike Williams anytime. Are we on Spotify, Ryan? Are we on Spotify?
Yes, we are.
We are on Spotify. Play chess, not checkers. I mean, I did win 4 national championships, so I do. I played for the U.S. in the World Youth Championship in France as well. I love that answer. Thank you. I'm not talking about it much. Louis says, non-tight end premium Pitts owner stash Jelani Woods or drop Romeo Doubs for Irv. It's weird. In Dynasty League, none of these players are drops. So I would look at the rest of your bench before you do any of this. All right, what's next?
Especially non-tight end premium, though. Irv isn't that exciting. I think he's going to be good, but if you already have Pitts, Irv is kind of just Irv.
Yeah.
The hype train will never die down.
Next.
Yeah. Final thing before the mock draft.
I think that. Yeah.
I think there's 3 spots we could fill. So.
All right. I'll post the link again, but go ahead.
Okay. So the Colts signed Nick Foles. Look out, Matt Ryan. Not really, but.
Not really.
They signed him to a 2-year deal. Back up.
Yeah. I assume we don't have any details about that deal.
Not yet.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know. Do we
I'll
care?
never say a bad thing about the man. So
I think again, he's a guy that I guess if you have a really shallow roster in a super flex league that you want to like roster backups, which I don't really suggest. Maybe you grab him, but like until a Matt Ryan injury happens, no, you really shouldn't care.
I mean, you could drop Sam Ehlinger. That's for
sure. Was gonna.
I guess
say. I actually liked Sam Ehlinger as a stash like a lot, and unfortunately now I feel like that's over. You just don't want to waste the spot on someone who's like Matt Ryan is fully guaranteed for 2 years now. Nick Foles is going to be there this year, and I'm assuming the contract's cheap, so I assume their plan is to just have Ryan as their clear starter and Foles as a backup. I actually almost would say that this Foles signing makes me slightly more confident that the Colts are going to bypass a quarterback again next year. Mm-hmm. And because they did this with Rivers, they rode Rivers into the ground without a clear backup plan behind him. So they'd be okay doing that with Ryan, that he just falls off their roster. They traded away Wentz without a clear plan to replace him either.
Yeah.
So
they really got to figure that out. This isn't going to work.
All right, pull up the mock draft. The Jaguars announced today that ETN is healthy. Are you buying that? His injury is worse than Achilles injury. First of all, that's not true. And secondly, I would say Achilles is still worse than a Liz Frank. And I do buy it. I do. He's had enough time. He should be healthy. He should be healthy now.
Yeah, if he's not healthy, then you
he should be
worried.
healthy.
It's been almost a year.
Yeah, he's had plenty of time. So it doesn't surprise me that he's healthy. I would expect him to be healthy. If he were not healthy, that would be a problem. But I expected him to be ready to go for training camp. It sounds like he will be, and I'd like to see it. I'd like to see him participate in some of the drills. But just him telling me that he's healthy is, but I'm not saying I believe them. I believe that they're telling the truth. But to be sure, we won't know until we see him on the field. All right, let's pull up the draft.
Gotcha. All right.
All right, someone fill that 101.
So coincidentally, the 101 is the last spot we need to fill.
Put that link in again.
Posting the link right now. There we go. There's the link. I hope this is good because it's good on our screen, but we're on computers. So like in the chat, tell us if you could see the board like clearly.
I do have a feeling that if you're watching this on your phone, it's gonna look weird.
I know. I could scroll in. We can.
Most people. Oh, there we go. We got it. All right. Is this? Do we want to do this tight end premium or what do you think? Turn the sound off.
Every time, always gets me.
All right. Do we want to do this tight end premium? I don't think we did last time, but we should do it tight end. Let's do tight end premium this time.
I'm just gonna throw it in there. I get it right there. Yeah, there we go. So people can know that's in the draft if they're not in here. All right.
All right. John says we can see the board. FF Lefty as I got you. So yeah, tight end premium, let's say 1.75 trade addict scoring. Super flex, and then you can see the lineup. If you're in the draft, you can see it on your roster. It's 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and a super flex. So that's
how many bench slots do we have? We have like 6, I think.
A lot more than 6. We have 8. Yeah, 8.
Oh, we're doing 16, not 14.
Yeah, 8 bench spots and 8 bench spots and 8 starters. So a thin starting lineup, and then 8 bench spots. But it's not that important for the exact format. But Superflex tight end premium.
All right,
3 wide
receivers. Ready to start this thing off.
I'm ready.
All right, 60 seconds to pick. Let's get it going.
Yeah, we'll go to 30 seconds when we get to the later rounds.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, if anyone has like a comment, just like weigh in.
Yeah, just throw it in there. I mean, feels very cocky.
I meant you guys.
Oh, I mean, we don't have to comment on it so far. This is.
Yeah, I mean, I've pretty much seen in every draft Allen, Mahomes, and Herbert go 1, 2, 3. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. After 3, I'd say it gets interesting. But I've pretty much seen. What have you guys seen more of? Herbert 2 or Herbert 2 or Mahomes 2?
Probably Mahomes. I think Herbert started to gain some steam as of late, but it's mostly been Mahomes.
Yeah. I would say I do not love having the 106 and having to take Burrow instead of Kyler or Lamar is not ideal. But
yeah, 6 is very dicey.
Whose contract worries you most, Murray or Lamar?
Lamar.
I agree.
Actually,
I almost feel like it's Murray a little bit, just because I feel like Lamar is what Baltimore wants. Like their offense is built around running the ball, and that is Lamar Jackson. I feel like they're going to end up having to pay him to an extent.
But that's almost actually the exact reason that I'm more worried about Lamar, because I think Kyler could go and succeed anywhere, whereas Lamar, I think actually you need to change the entire offense to suit Lamar. You can't just plug and play Lamar. Whereas Kyler, yes, you can. You need to do some things to suit him, but I think Kyler is more plug and play. Personally,
yeah, that's fair.
So I'm more concerned if it doesn't work out and they go to a new team. I'm more concerned about Lamar going to a new team than I am about Kyler.
Yeah,
that's why I'm more concerned about Lamar. I think that both contracts are worked out.
Yeah.
But the reason is, I'm more concerned about Lamar changing teams than I am about Kyler. So a pretty chalky start so far. Anything? I think Watson at what is that? 109. That's a little bit interesting for me. And we're gonna get a lot of picks off of my Patreon list because there are a lot of patrons in this draft. Although maybe not as many as there were last time.
Yeah, I mean Watson at 9 doesn't really surprise me now that he's landed in a team, and I mean, you're going to get a year out of it, but like he's proven he's a really, really good fantasy quarterback. I
do think it's a little early though. I would prefer to wait. I'd rather have Dak because Dak and Watson are not that different in age. I mean, Dak has proven just as high, if not a higher fantasy ceiling than Watson, actually, at Dak's best. And also, Dak doesn't have a potential suspension looming over him.
Yeah,
for most how long.
You get a bonus year out of him. Because even at Watson, you anticipate I've seen everything I've heard. It's pretty heavy that he's going to get a pretty big suspension. So you figure if he gets 10 games, that's 90% of your fantasy season. You're not getting.
In order for me to prefer Watson over Dak, the suspension would need to be four games or less.
Yeah, like a small.
So, and I don't think that that's going to be the case. So I'd rather have Dak. Dak is great. I think there's some hate on Dak, and I don't know if I really understand. Yeah. I'm not going to like the players that I'm forced to pick.
You picked the wrong spot.
Yeah, 6 is not really where I want to be. I never would have made that pick, I don't think. Like if I'm actually playing, I don't think I really make a pick. I wouldn't make this one either. I mean, there's no way that I would actually take a player at 207 given the board. But I'm gonna try something different.
It's a mock. That's what mocks are for. I think that gets lost a lot. I know a lot of people don't want to tip their hand when they do mocks. Have you ever come across your friends in mocks and they do that?
I have, yeah. Well, the problem is my ranks are out there, so I can't hide.
Yeah.
Watson over Justin Jefferson. Yeah, I would have taken Justin Jefferson over Watson for me. And then how often do you have these mock drafts? I would not say we don't have mock drafts that often. I don't know when we're going to do. So next week, and this is important to note. So next week, Monday's Memorial Day. So we're going to be doing the show on Tuesday, and it's actually going to be, Jeremy's cut off by this comment.
I was going to say, why isn't it raised? I don't know why it's not raising.
Yeah, I don't know why either. But the point is, we'll be doing the show on Tuesday at 4:00 because we're going to have Craig on, and that's just the time he could do it. And unlike on Mondays, Tuesdays, I actually have more time, so I can start the show an hour later. So I will put up the link very early, and I will remind people that next week's show will be on Tuesday at 4:00 Eastern, an hour later than usual. And also, if you're here, it would be great if the button doesn't say subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Like the video, leave a comment either in the chat or after. If you're watching this after, leave it below. But just make sure to subscribe. I really, really need to get to 1,000 subscribers in order for YouTube to allow me to start monetizing the channel. So yeah, every single subscriber counts. So I just really appreciate that for anyone watching. I will actually. It's true. Next Tuesday I will be doing that show at 4:00, and then I'll have Ask DLF as well with Akash. We'll be on Ask DLF that week. And tomorrow on Ask DLF, which is also simulcast on this channel, Addison will be with me and Cal. So, I'm going to have some Ask DLF. I'm going to have some more rotating co-hosts. Hutch, Addison, Shane. I'll try to stick to mostly DLF guests, although Akash I know really wanted to be on there, so I made sure to get him on there. Yeah. So that's the first head scratching pick for me. Actually, is this Mixon pick here? It's not what I would have done.
Rude.
It's not rude.
I just like Joe Mixon. I think he proved last year he's capable. He's in a very high-powered offense in Cincinnati, and of the choice, Christian McCaffrey, you could argue. I would have taken
Christian McCaffrey for sure.
Yeah, with a little bit of the age, I don't know. I figured I'd change it up. Go with
I was hoping I would get Lawrence anyway.
Oh,
almost.
So close.
Yeah. Oh well. But yeah, no, I did hear on another show, like they were like, oh, we can't criticize the guests' picks or the guests' anything. I was like, yes, I can.
Yeah, I don't care. You can't hurt my feelings.
Well, all right. So T. Higgins went right before me. For me, I am going to take a player I really like, the DK Metcalf. Do you think the Dynasty community is betting too big on Trey Lance? I get the capital, but he's barely done anything in the league so far. Well, I think they're betting more on Trey Lance, the fantasy asset, than they are being sure that Trey Lance, the real-life quarterback, is good. Trey Lance, the fantasy asset, is going to be a fantasy star. I am a little bit concerned about Trey Lance, the NFL player. I am not confident that Trey Lance, the NFL player, is any good. I don't know why we would be. There's no evidence other than that he went 3rd overall. There's no evidence to say Trey Lance, the NFL player, is good, other than he was a good prospect. But that's...
I don't know if you could see my mouse on the screen, but if Trey Lance, the NFL quarterback, is good, he's going to be up in here. In the Kyler Murray
if Trey Lance, the NFL quarterback, is good, he's going to be... His ceiling is Dynasty quarterback 1.
1, yeah. Easy.
Or his ceiling is to be Kyler Murray. If Trey Lance hits, he'll be... I think that's what his ceiling is.
I think he has Josh Allen, to be honest.
How? No, he's not.
Yeah. He's a better runner athletically, personally. I agree. And I think his arm isn't as strong, but it's
Josh
pretty
Allen
close.
Has a golden arm. Trey Lance does not have that.
Lance is pretty close. He's got a pretty big arm.
To me, Lance reminds me almost exactly of Kyler Murray. Almost exactly. If he hits, that's the ceiling. Someone who can pass at a good rate. And give you those passing touchdowns, that passing ceiling, and also run for close to 1,000 yards. Josh Allen and Trey Lance just have nothing in common to me. I don't see those two as similar players at all. Whereas Trey Lance and Kyler Murray are very similar.
I think they play the game similar. I think Trey Lance is way more physical than Kyler Murray will be in the run game.
But in terms
of the Josh Allen side, and I feel like Trey Lance has a lot of the same things Allen had coming out. Very poor accuracy, strong arm. Really good on the ground. They're very similar in aspects. It's just going to come down to what they are at the NFL level. Josh Allen improved that accuracy issue and got better as an overall quarterback. The question comes, can Trey Lance do that? I think Kyler Murray was more just a better prospect than both of those guys, just was well-rounded, and he kind of is what Kyler Murray is. I've never seen Kyler Murray get much better, if I'm being honest. I feel like he's just kind of been good. He's a really good quarterback. I just don't, I haven't seen him get better. Josh Allen got better. Justin Herbert got better. Patrick Mahomes has gotten better. Kyler Murray's just kind of been meh. I don't know. I'm just not the biggest Kyler Murray guy, so.
I don't think Patrick Mahomes has really gotten better.
Yeah, you could argue he got worse, but.
I don't think 2021, I think 2018 Patrick Mahomes was better than any of the succeeding efforts. Not that the succeeding ones have been bad. Don't hear that. But I think 2018 Patrick Mahomes was his best effort.
Yeah,
it was great. I thought for me that 2018 Patrick Mahomes was up there with the best quarterback seasons, real life quarterback seasons that I've ever seen anyone play. That good. That good.
Yeah, he was good.
I was like, this is going to be a first ballot. One season was enough. I didn't even a whole season. Like 10 games was enough for me to say this is a first ballot Hall of Famer. That it was just so obvious. Like I can't remember another player where it was just another quarterback who just came in and it was like boom. You just knew almost. He was the Dynasty quarterback. You want to know how crazy it is? I remember he was the Dynasty quarterback 1 by consensus after 5 starts. 5.
Right.
That's how obvious it was. That obvious.
I'm a little surprised Derek Carr went this early.
I'm fine with that. I mean,
I don't think it's a bad value, but like
that's Dylan. So that's someone going off my list. So my list says that Derek Carr should go that early. So it's not surprising that he went that early. Pickett. Do we think Pickett falls to 111 in a rookie draft? I would certainly pick him at 111 if he did, but I have not usually seen him fall to 111.
No.
I mean, I guess it depends on your league. I've seen him at close to 111, but highly unlikely. More
not
likely
if you're playing with me, he won't fall to 111.
Yeah, like the 9 range, you might be able to get him. 8.
I have him 107.
Yeah, it depends on how people really view him or their quarterback position.
Yeah, London I think was a little bit of a reach, but I've seen worse. But anyway, people are really going with my kind of picks. Devontae Adams went in the 4th round. You know that the Tyler ageist bias is in full effect.
I mean, you've rubbed off on me a little bit in that aspect. But
I've rubbed off on everyone. I think that I legitimately, and this might be really egotistical, but I legitimately believe since I started doing Ask DLF that the ADP data has changed. That it's made a difference. That there has been a shift toward younger players. And I actually think that, I'm not saying that I'm solely responsible for that change, but I actually think that I have made a difference in that data, even if it's small.
Yeah, I also think Twitter is shifting its community in that aspect. I see that more often when I'm on Twitter.
I think Twitter's always been that way. Who do we think I'm going to pick here?
I have absolutely no.
I will.
You can cheat, Ryan. Don't cheat.
Travis.
I'm not cheating. I have my phone out on the draft board. I'd say you're going to take.
You can look at my Patreon list, and you
I know I could, but I'm not. That's Are you gonna take? Oh, you're gonna take Kenneth Walker here.
Kenneth Walker.
That's what I think.
Kenneth Walker's not very high on my list, so I'm not gonna take Kenneth Walker.
I would have never guessed Tua.
I like it. I think he could have a pretty big year.
Okay. I don't love Tua, but I love quarterbacks, and I'm big on quarterbacks. So.
I mean, you have to be in Superflex. Like,
you have to be.
If you get caught out of quarterback.
Well, also, if I pass on a quarterback there, then who knows what I'm getting at quarterback too. I don't want to be weak at quarterback. I'll be weak anywhere else, but I don't want to have a lack of quarterback. So I always lean on quarterback.
I fully agree. That and the format that was mentioned earlier, the 2 tight ends. I don't want to be weak at tight end with 2 tight ends. I mean, you have to be, though. But for sure. You know what I mean?
Tight ends are streamable.
Preach ageist king. Yeah, well, I will say, if you're looking to get into my good graces, I do like that nickname. It's a good way to get on my good side. I do like being called that. I should just call myself the king of Dynasty. Ooh. Don't give me it. We're giving me ideas. we're giving me ideas. My my head is getting a little big. But yeah, quarterbacks are going off fast. How many do we already have off the board? We're not even fully through. We've got 18 quarterbacks gone.
You counted that way quicker than I did. I'm slacking out here.
You didn't know I'm a Terminator?
I knew.
I'm totally a Terminator, bro. I mean, if I have my way, we're gonna.
I also know
replace
I'm
all
bad
of
at
the
math,
humans.
so.
Dalvin Cook finally went off the board.
That's an interesting build Trogdor to get going. I like the Saquon pick. That late, yeah. I'm here for it.
I give that one a C-.
I'll just take it. I'll take the C-.
I had to give you an idea. I had 13 players ahead of Saquon Barkley.
Wow.
So C-. I hate Saquon Barkley.
Left on the board yet? 13?
13, yeah. 13 players that I would have taken in your pick above Saquon Barkley. That's correct.
It's fair. You're not going to like my next one, then.
Yeah, TJ Hawkinson was one of them. Maybe I'll like the next one.
Maybe.
No.
We'll see.
No. I'm not going to like the next. It's possible.
No, definitely won't.
I see the board. I'm not fully sure how Jeremy operates.
Aaron Rodgers. I actually kind of like Aaron. I mean, Aaron Rodgers there is fine.
Wait, time out. There is no startable flexes, right? I'm looking
I think there's one.
There's
just super flex.
Oh, there is no startable flex. Yeah, apparently not.
Oh gosh,
that's weird. Oops.
All right, this is going to alter my pick. Sorry.
I guess it doesn't change all that much. I wasn't really.
I could take off the bench slot and add it real quick.
You want to do that? All right, pause the draft.
Hold on.
Yeah, I didn't notice there wasn't a flex.
I didn't notice that either.
We're giving you a flex.
Roster settings.
Yeah, we're giving you. No, we need a plus. Add missing position. Yeah, add missing position. Flex. WRT. And then minus a bench.
Oh. Then minus bench 8. All right.
Okay.
Now
you now have the flex position that you desire.
All right. Okay.
It's okay. We fixed it for you, Jesse. There was supposed to be a flex, but then but then we forgot that there was not a flex. Whoops. J.K. Dobbins. So I like that one better.
Thank you.
But I had 10 players that I would have preferred. So. Not much better. I have J.K. Dobbins one spot ahead of Saquon Barkley.
See, there, I got them right next to each other.
There you go. Back-to-back value.
Just a couple picks early.
Well, they aren't going to be there on your next turn, and it's a mock, so that could be an argument for any mock draft pick at this point.
True.
Yeah.
They're not going to be there at my next pick, so I'm going to pick them now.
I wonder what I'm going to do at my next pick. Am I going to stick to my board, or am I going to do something different?
If you can tell, I just don't like wide receivers. So,
if you can tell, I do.
I get it. You really should kind of build a dynasty around wide receivers. I just find it very hard in all my leagues to trade for quarterbacks and running backs. But
Jeremy, a response?
It's I live my life risky. Okay, you don't win fantasy championships by being safe. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. Life from the edge.
I mean, J.K. Dobbins, yeah, it's more of a long-term play. I mean, I still like him this year. I mean, coming off the ACL is a little concerning, but I think Barkley gets pretty involved in this offense this year. I think 1 year removed from his ACL. I think, as Tyler mentioned earlier, Daniel Jones isn't the best thrower of the football, so I can see Brian Dable going a little bit leaning on Barkley. So
who am I going to pick? I seem to end up with this player in every draft I ever do. Which maybe is telling me that I'm overweight or too high. I don't think I've ever drafted Cam Akers in any draft.
Wow, I'm wrong again. I'm just off. I'm not. See.
Any guesses? Chat.
I have to pull this one up.
Yes.
Jeremy, casino invite.
The casino.
The casino got to hit that one up.
I seem like I end up with this player every single time I do anything. But maybe I'm overweight.
No, I love Chris Godwin. I have a lot.
I think that Jesse nailed it. Kenneth Walker. I wouldn't say I'm overweight on Kenneth Walker because even though I have him 102, I have guys like Godwin and Akers ahead of him, so I actually almost never get any Kenneth Walker. But yeah, Godwin. I think Godwin is just so good. I mean. If he hadn't had that injury, look at where Deontay Johnson is a similar age. I think Godwin is significantly more talented.
Oh, hands down. Not even
close. Significantly more talented with a better quarterback, without, there's competition overall is similar.
Just, I might have to dip out of here at 4:30. So I'll keep doing the mock draft on my phone. I just got to make it to the bank by 5.
Oh yeah, no, we should not. These shows used to be an hour. The last one with Rich was 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah, it was.
I'm here for it. I just today.
No, I feel you. Yeah,
I sold my car, so I have to get the money.
No, honestly, I really appreciate you and all the other guests, just because first of all, because I love, getting new voices. I mean, not new, but new to my audience, voices out there so people can get a variety of opinions. But also because I've definitely been tired and having some burnout stuff.
Hey Tyler, and 15 seconds. Can you guess who I'm going to pick? It's really easy.
Akers.
No, you're wrong. No. It's Antonio Gibson. Come on now.
Oh, well, that's why. I expected you. You asked me to guess, so I gave you the benefit of the doubt.
You gave me the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I thought you would make a good pick instead of a bad one. You asked me to guess. I was trying to help you.
I thought you knew me, man.
I do, but I thought we talked about Antonio Gibson and how he's now in big failure category.
And the 5th, I'll take my chances.
I'm good on Gibson. No, thank you.
Yeah, I just look back at startup.
Do you want to know how many players?
He's at the corner of the 3rd, and that's where I was taking him. And I'm like, oof.
Ryan, do you want to know how many players I had available ahead of Gibson?
I want to take a guess. 13. I'm gonna say 18.
Nah, you guys went too high. It was 10. 10 players.
Dang it. So it still makes me the worst pick. God damn it.
Don't worry, I'll top
your pick of Saquon Barkley as of now. Actually, your pick of Mixon might have been even worse. Your pick of Mixon, I think there might have been yeah, Mixon. You picked Mixon at what number? You picked him at 26th overall. I have Mixon at 36. So, and that's assuming everything was in the same order. So I had at least 10 players ahead of Mixon. It's hard to reconstruct it. I had to back reconstruct it that way, but at least 10 players ahead of Mixon at that time.
I'll live with it. I'll stay spicy.
Yeah. Well, everyone knows that my list is very ageist, and
to be honest, that's the only reason I went with Mixon over some of these other guys. I probably would have even taken someone higher that would have been even worse personally. I just kind of leaned the age with it being Dynasty. That Mixon was a little bit younger. But McCaffrey probably was the better choice.
Well, Mixon and McCaffrey are almost the exact same age within a month.
Yeah, and I just went with Mixon just because I just believe in that offense a little bit more than McCaffrey in the Panthers. But McCaffrey's proven that even in a bad offense, he's the Dynasty running back 1. So I don't know.
Don't worry, Jeremy. My Paris Campbell pick in 10 rounds is going to top you.
You should just take him next round just for fun.
No. We can't have that.
Now that you said it, I'm taking him in the 6th. I don't care. Paris Campbell, no matter what.
Gibson owner, what are some good alternatives? Not Gibson.
Trading up in age and trying to get something out of it.
Wow. I love how this draft is going. I would say guess my pick, but it's so obvious. So obvious who I'm going to pick. Right?
Yeah, I only guessed him a round ago?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's obvious. So even the sleeper ADP agrees. That's insane. I haven't seen Cam Akers go that low in any draft.
Yeah, that's pretty low.
Even with the risk. I mean, I did not expect to actually get Cam Akers. I thought I had to choose between Godwin and Akers.
I actually thought I was taking Cam Akers, but nope, the Gibson truther in me still lives on.
A lot of people. I thought Cam Akers. I have Cam Akers ranked at 50 in this format, and I got him at 67. Wow, I'm math quick. But yeah, I kind of like how my team is coming along. I have Burrow and Tua, Lamb, Metcalf, and Godwin, and Akers. So I kind of like that. Gibson and Burks or Najee Harris?
Gibson and Burks.
Yeah, I take Gibson and Burks, but solely because of Burks.
I think I'd also go with Gibson and Burks. I'll go with Najee Harris. It's close.
It is
Guardians
close.
of the Gibsons. All right.
That's really my team name this year.
Dallas
Thank you for that, River Truther. I'm going to use that.
Oh, Amari Cooper. Do you even want to know?
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, 15 players available ahead of Amari Cooper in my ranking.
Jeremy, I gotta top you one of these times.
I just really like Amari Cooper. I just think, with
Amari Cooper.
I hate Amari Cooper. Where we're sitting though,
So the issue with Amari Cooper is he looked awful last year. He looked awful, and then with the possible Watson suspension coming, he was awful with Dak. I mean, he was really bad last year. So if he was bad in his age 27 season, I don't see why age 28 is going to be better. And then with the Watson suspension, I mean, if he's playing with Baker, if it's Baker for the whole year, I don't have Amari as a top 30 wide receiver in redraft. I don't.
That's fair. Probably.
I have him ranked in redraft with Watson as of now, assuming these ranks assume a whole season of Watson, even though it's unlikely for redraft. Because when I do my redraft rankings, I rank outcomes as they come, not what if. So I just rank what it is now. So for my redraft rankings, I have it that way. I have Amari Cooper at wide receiver 21 in redraft. And that's assuming a whole season of Watson. So if there was all Baker, I think I would have Amari at man. I might have Amari outside my top 35.
See, I know it's the whole what if game, but I've seen conflicting reports on that. Some say it's going to be huge. Some say it's going to be small. You don't know. I don't know.
But my other issue with Amari is last year, everything was down. I mean, he played in 15 games, but 68 receptions per game was down. Yards per game down by over 10 yards per game. Catch percentage down. Yards per target down. I mean, everything was bad. Everything is becoming bad. I don't want a player who's slightly on the older side and everything is turning in a downward direction. So that won't work for me. I don't want a player like that.
That's fair. I don't know his value at 6. I just think the upside's there if you get a lot of Watson. It's just, but I get it. And the hard thing is why was he going down? Was it the emergence of CeeDee Lamb? Was it just him being bad?
But he had opportunity when Gallup was injured too, and it still was not better.
Yeah.
That's my concern. There was long period where Gallup didn't play, and CeeDee Lamb did not do as well as we would have expected. I would say even he didn't take the massive leap, and still Amari was worse. So I have serious concerns about Amari Cooper. It's not just the age or anything like that. Interesting. Okay. Well, I kind of like this. I don't know if I've ever drafted Kenny Pickett in anything ever.
First for everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think having a decent quarterback 3 is important in Superflex. He's the last one. So I thought it was good. And I'm not that confident I'm not comfortable with having Burrow, Tua, and nothing else. That's not good enough for me at quarterback. So it was important to me to get another. I don't want to be light at quarterback in Superflex. That's how you get into big trouble. If you become light at quarterback, and then if you trade away some of your future first, that's how you really get yourself into trouble. So I like to make sure that I'm ahead of the game at quarterback, or at least even.
That's fair. I mean, you could get into trouble, but if you have those future first, you always have an avenue open. But it is really hard to get quarterbacks in some of these.
It's really hard, yeah.
Almost impossible.
I mean, I've been trying to trade for the guy that just went off the board in Tom Brady, and I can't get him for a decent, return.
What do we think of Tom Brady at that pick?
I don't mind it. I mean, it. Well, let's see. Let's look at the rest of the team. That would matter.
It's not what I would have. I mean, it has Kelsey, but then randomly Drake London and Jamison Williams are on that team. That's kind of a weird team.
It kind of is. You got all win nows aside from Jefferson, London, and Williams, like
Well,
Kelsey's
Jefferson
got
works for anybody. But
yeah, no, I'm just saying, like
yeah.
Kelsey, Cousins, Brady, all these three main staples are kind of, even Andrews. I mean, Andrews is a little bit younger, but like, you kind of got like some age there on a team that I don't know. The wide receiver position's kind of, I mean, Jefferson's obviously great, but
yeah,
like
it is
London
kind of
and
weird.
Williams are big question marks. So Brady, you got 1 year and that's it. I think maybe you get another year, but all right. I do have to pop out of here. I do apologize. So thank you for having me on.
Thanks for coming on.
Like I said, I will keep doing this on my phone while I drive to the
awesome.
bank. So, but thank you guys. I appreciate it and have a good time.
Peace.
Thanks for coming on.
Guys.
So this last pick was an auto. I don't know if you want me making this pick right now.
Yeah, just make it for him. You get another pick.
Oh, great. Another chance to embarrass myself in the rankings.
No. I mean,
gosh. I mean, I'm even gonna pick in time. This board just
clock's ticking, bro.
The board just looks ugh.
Board looks ugh.
With this team construction, I'd probably lean into Keenan Allen. Give me a season.
Keenan Allen. I've seen worse.
I mean, looking at that,
I only had two players. I only had two players on my list ahead of Keenan Allen. So
looking at that team, you have Chubb, Najee, Josh Jacobs, who we don't know what's going to happen after this year, like we talked about. You have two good QBs.
No, that's definitely a win now team. It has Najee Harris on it. It has Carr. It has Chubb, McLaurin. So Allen makes sense. That's not a bad pick.
I'm drafting for two teams now. Oh boy.
Well, he might come back. We've got a whole.
I hope he does.
Around. Yeah. Well, hopefully.
That was a good pick right there with the Elijah Mitchell selection.
Yes, Elijah Mitchell was first on my list, but that's not that surprising. Yeah. What do you think of your team so far? Talk about that.
I mean, give me a second here. I got to make a pick, then I'll talk about my team. I'm on the clock right now. See, I really want to lean into running back, like win nows, and maybe flip them mid-season. My team isn't, overly solid, like a James Conner type. But I think I'm just gonna. I'm gonna go Sky Moore. I'll take a rookie.
I don't mind Sky Moore there.
Great situation. I mean,
it is really a good situation.
Although that number, did you see his number?
No.
24.
Is that like?
That's confirmed. I swear.
Yeah, but like, why is that a big deal?
I'm just saying, it just looks weird. Okay, I'm making a joke. All right, you know how like they should have like the number, like, okay, wide receivers in single digits look cool, but like 20s, I don't know. Don't know how I feel about that.
Oh yeah,
it's a joke.
I see your point.
Brandon Ayuk. I know Matt was petitioning for him today on the timeline.
I saw that. Yeah, he's very in on Brandon Ayuk. I think it's good value.
Definitely good value.
24 greater than 23. What?
It's a jersey number joke, I guess. I don't.
It must be.
I don't understand it, but that's a difference.
I don't get it really. But
we do too.
Yeah. I do appreciate everyone who's tuning in. I know this is a long show. Last week was definitely going to be even longer than this one. But
team finally going to select a running back.
Maybe.
I like the build though.
I do. It's very much the kind of team you could see me draft. Nope. To be fair, that's not a bad pick, actually.
It's not a bad pick, especially if AJ Brown and on his new team pans out. T. Higgins performs as we expect. Jerry Jeudy gets a bump. That's actually a really good pick, honestly.
Yeah, it could.
That's honestly really good.
Something decent.
Can I? Oh no, I can't turn them off auto. Ooh. There's James Conner. I think that's really good value in the 8th. He's gonna put up some numbers this season, especially with how that team is constructed. He just needs another wide receiver in there.
So now Jeremy's back up again. Let's see if I like this one any better.
I'm still topping him later with Paris Campbell. I swear, maybe LaVisca.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I don't know. Not LaVisca.
Not LaVisca.
Well, once you get out of my good graces, it's really hard to get back in them.
I could tell.
Yeah, well, tell me about it, right?
It hurts. The profile was everything was there.
I know everything was there with Visca, but then it just kind of like
even the flashes on film, like it is one season, they were there.
It was totally there, but
James Cook. I feel like Jeremy would pick James Cook anyway. I think he had it in his queue.
Yeah, James Cook is actually not a bad pick. It's along the lines of something I might have considered. Is Zeke? Well, how the mighty have fallen.
I like that for the team.
How the mighty have fallen. Make it a 30-second clock for the rest.
Gotcha.
Thomas, Nuke.
Deposit.
Use deposit?
A deposit to go into the settings, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, because look at the resume draft button is.
Oh, I see.
Draft settings, yeah. A-Rob that late as well.
Yeah, I'm not that interested in A-Rob though.
I think I am more than you are.
Over under for Clyde failure? Probably pretty soon, honestly. Yeah, are you excited for our redraft shows?
Yes. I'm ecstatic.
Yeah, next week, what do you want to start with?
Oh, goodness.
Quarterback and tight end?
Do we want to start with that, or do we want to... Or do we want to start with the running back? Do we want to start with the most important position in redraft?
You want to start with running back?
I mean, the chat could have an input as well. We could.
Yeah.
What does the chat want?
Amon Ra over A-Rob. I agree. In Dynasty. Yeah. What does the chat want? What does the chat want us to do next week? Yeah, fair. There's probably gonna be another auto pick. Yeah. Let's see. Who am I gonna pick? Gotta find him. Oh, there he is.
Oh, nice.
I mean, you know me. Load up on that young talent. Load up on the young talent. Running back. Well, no, we wouldn't do both.
We'd separate those, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think also next week's show is almost certainly going to be short. Like the next couple of weeks are going to be shorter, especially next week because I'm doing 2 shows that day. So that show is going to be on the shorter side.
So I think then we should do quarterback and tight end. I feel like running back's the one you want to spend the most time on.
All right. We'll do quarterback and tight end then.
Works for me. Oh, the board tells me to take Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but
are you going to listen?
I don't listen to the board.
You don't even need the board. The board holds you back.
Ooh, I'm tossed up here. I'm gonna go wide receiver.
Wide receiver. Brandon Cooks. I hate that.
Feels like good value this league. He's gonna put a couple, but at least 2 more solid seasons, it seems.
Yeah. So yeah, quarterback and tight end then. All right. It'll be nice to look at like the redraft format, I think.
Yeah.
How much have you thought about it so far?
I've thought about it a little. I've put together like preliminary lists of like the top guys. I've looked at it. Like obviously I'm gonna have JT at RB1. Shot expense, but
yep.
And And then I feel like Justin Jefferson might be my wide receiver 1. I want to do it.
Yeah.
Kirk's there.
I have Cooper Kupp at
I can't argue that, but Allen Robinson coming in. They want Odell back. I know Odell's not going to be ready for early season. This is a dynasty, but I don't know.
I don't know if Odell. Odell tore his ACL in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Is Odell going to be ready for any of the season?
I don't know. It's definitely going to be a tough one. But
Rachaad White, kind of like that one.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking with my last pick. But yeah, it's not like I'm knocking down Cooper Kupp that far. Oh, I'm gonna put him at 2, is what it is.
Yeah.
They're both gonna be first round redraft picks, most likely. I have to check out what their underdog ADPs are right now, because that's the best gauge we have so far.
Yeah, I know. Underdog for now, redraft ADP is pretty unreliable. So underdog is the best way to go.
They have Cooper Kupp at 2.6.
That doesn't seem right.
As the second highest player, right in front of McCaffrey, and then Jefferson is the 4th overall player at 4.6. So the narrative seems to be swinging.
Oh, yeah, 2.6 like
ADP.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Remember when it was all running backs in the first round and you could the wide receivers at the end of the first round?
Those were the days.
Those were the days. Seems like just last year.
Oh my God.
It's true, but
so yeah, I took Trey McBride. I thought that was
good value.
Yeah, I just felt like there weren't that many tight ends left, and I didn't really need another quarterback, even though there are some decent ones hanging around.
Yeah, I'm still looking at this ADP, and I'm just stunned. I never thought we'd see the day. I remember, what was it, a couple of years back where Antonio Brown was like the only wide receiver in consideration for like the top of the first round. That's after we put together like one of the greatest seasons of all time.
I know. Antonio Brown.
Yeah, it's true.
Never forget. Never forget how much Antonio Brown did for you.
That whole sequence was...
Honestly, I still can't believe that it went down the way it went down. The whole thing with the frozen feet and the helmet.
I'm still.
And then what he did to the Raiders GM. It's kind of honestly, it's kind of crazy.
Remember when he was at Buffalo Bill for a good minute?
Oh yeah, for a minute, and then he was
I think it was literally a minute. It might have been
he was I don't want to be in Buffalo.
Yeah, that choice was. It's kind of interesting to look at that. That domino of him not going there led to Stephon Diggs on the Bills, and it led to Justin Jefferson on the Vikings, and it's interesting.
I know it led to just so many things.
There's a lot to unpack with that situation, how it unfolded. That would be a good video for someone to do that's into that kind of stuff.
Yeah. What do you think of my pick there?
I don't like it. But
I know. But
starting quarterback in Superflex.
That's the thing. He's gonna start games.
I don't believe, but
I don't believe either.
I really think that the Giants are set up to draft that one quarterback next year that, pops off. Not CJ Stroud, not Bryce Young, because they're not going to be in that range, but one of the late risers of the season, like a Will Levis, Grayson McCall, Tyler Van Dyke, all those guys.
Yeah, you probably know more about those guys than I do.
I know a little bit. I'm keyed in on Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, but so is everyone at this point.
I was gonna say, can you blame people for being
No, I'm not. I'm not blaming people at all. We're gonna want to look towards 2023 a lot, and it's hard to put it past people because the class is just so good.
Yeah.
Like
It is
106.
good.
Like 106 this year was like the end, and like you didn't really want to be there, but you're like, I'm okay with Jameson Williams.
So, yeah, pairing Eckler and other things. So, see, I mean, honestly, like I don't have any particular preference for pairing backfields. If anything, I'd probably prefer against it because it reduces your upside. Oh boy.
Oh, he still doesn't have a quarterback. I just realized that.
Which one doesn't have a quarterback?
I
yeah, Gatorators does not have a quarterback. Yeah,
no QB.
that's a choice. It's safe to say that I'm probably not a big fan of that roster construction. To be honest,
I wouldn't do it because, like, especially I know we didn't go into like deep on the settings besides 1.75 premium. But this was a 6-point passing touchdown league. You'd be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
like a hefty amount. You're not going to be able to snag any of these QBs from any of these other teams. I hit it. I like the play.
Yeah. No, it makes sense that you.
I mean, with that roster build, you go halfway through the year, you trade Eckler to a contender, you trade Kamara to a contender. Have a lot of picks there, some youth. I mean, it could work out. I'm not advising never do that in mock drafts, or actual drafts. This is tough. I see Calvin really down here, and the more rounds that go by, the more tempting it gets.
You think about it. Yeah, you have to think about it.
There's a wide receiver that I really like that's still on the board.
So who's that going to be?
I lied. He's not on the board.
Yeah. Well,
another wide receiver that I really like.
Oh, yeah. Wan'Dale Robinson.
Wan'Dale.
Yeah. Well, with Tony kind of faltering, I do kind of like Wan'Dale. I would rather have Wan'Dale over Tony straight up if I didn't say that earlier. And yeah, just if you're still here this much into video, please subscribe. Please like the video.
Hit the bell.
Hit the bell. Yeah, I always forget that one. Hit the bell.
There it is. Carson Wentz QB1.
Yep, just as was predicted. All right. It's almost me.
Yep, you're up next.
Zach Ertz.
I like that actually for being
I definitely did not want Zach Ertz.
With the format though.
Still.
I'll argue for Zach Ertz.
I seem to get a lot of John Mechie.
Well, yeah, John Mechie's kind of
in startups.
Yeah, I get him in the rookie draft a bit, but he's definitely.
I did get him in a rookie draft too.
I think I talked about that on here. That one that I posted at 307 was just ridiculous. I don't know how I did that, but it happens, I'm trying to see which team I like the most out of all of these teams, because I don't think it's mine, which is never a good sign when you come out of the startup.
You don't feel like it's yours?
I feel like mine. I like mine a lot, but I just wish I was a little stronger at wide receiver.
I get that,
but I thought Fields was such good value at 310.
Yeah, I would consider taking him there.
He fell a little too far from me, and you need that second quarterback, and I don't have a third one because I double stacked early. I know it's kind of but whose team do I like the most?
Oh, Baker. It was about time.
James Robinson. I kind of
like that. I like that pick. Just in case, you never know. In case he comes back, I actually like that pick a lot.
You never know.
Hunter Henry, not what I would have done. Not a big fan of Hunter Henry. Garoppolo was also on my list.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of Hunter Henry. I'd rather take a chance on Njoku with Watson returning and that athletic profile. I mean, it is the 13th round, but that's just my preference.
I'd rather have more upside. I don't think Hunter Henry has like any upside.
I think Njoku has enough at this point to validate his selection.
Lazard. Well, let's just say I would not have picked him. All right. Well, I'm very short on running back, but there is a running back that I like.
Wow.
I like Brian Robinson.
I don't see the appeal. It's just
Antonio Gibson's not that good. That's the appeal.
I don't agree with you there. So
I know, but I just think that Brian Robinson is going to get an opportunity to see some work, and eventually he could get worked into the offense. But I understand why people are out on him. The draft capital is the main reason why I'm in. The third round running back almost always gets a chance to play.
He always gets
I can understand if people went in a different direction. Oh, there's David Njoku, who we talked about earlier.
This is the time of the draft where you just take dart throws and just hope. And that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to keep dual eligibility for Cordell. So
Cordell Patterson.
But if you get one, maybe half a season out of him in the 13th round.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad pick. It's not what I would have done, but it's not a bad pick.
Hey, this is time of the draft when you're just taking chances on everything.
Oh yeah, no, of course.
Russell Gage that was a very good pick.
Tyler Algier. I like Tyler Algier actually more than Russell Gage, and then Rondale Moore, who I actually like the most of those options. Even though I don't really like Rondale Moore, this is more reasonable. Like 14th round on Rondale Moore is about right. So, but yeah, those were 3 decent picks for sure.
His name's still there. Now it's not.
Ridley.
I talk too much.
Yeah, Ridley was actually the highest player on my board at this point. So
I would have too much.
I would have taken him. I actually considered taking him over Brian Robinson, but I didn't have any other running backs, and I'm not that into holding a player who's going to miss the entire season. Just not really my style. I don't really like to wait like that. But I would have taken him if it had come back to me.
All right. I'm just going to take a chance. I need some receivers.
Khalil Shakir. Oh,
yeah.
Definitely not what I would have done. I just don't really like Khalil Shakir. So that's late in the draft. I just don't. I just would rather take someone else.
I don't know which someone else that would have been. I'm looking at the board and it's just.
Oh, I mean, I could think of quite a few players. Mostly a long list of running backs.
Yeah, see, this is
Zamir White.
I know I never say to draft. I just wanted a little more wide receiver depth.
Zamir White was. I just feel like the upside's more there with the running back, though. I don't know who this is talking about, and
I think it's
for the rest of my workday. Yeah, I mean this helps me get through stuff too.
I think he was talking about Cordell there.
Oh yeah,
I mean, maybe could have happened. We've seen it already.
Oh, I was hoping Tyrion Davis-Price would make it to me, but I guess not. It was not meant to be. Alexander Madison. Yeah, it's another player I was looking at. Speaking of running backs,
Rashad Penny. I never thought I'd see the day where you select Rashad Penny.
Well, that day was today.
Wow. A lot of
injuries happen.
Injuries do happen.
He's a handcuff who we already know succeeded in the same role. So, it is what it is.
Khalil Herbert's another handcuff. I mean, Chicago did nothing. We've been over that how many times?
Nothing. They didn't even take a visit. They didn't even take a visit from a rookie running back. Not a visit. Keontae Ingram is kind of a handcuff, but there really is no one else on their depth chart. But
there isn't. He's gonna beat out Eno Benjamin.
He's obviously, but he's a 6th round pick, so you always worry that they could just sign someone else like Darrell Williams if Keontae Ingram is not cutting it.
I mean, we're in the 14th round. If he cuts it, then it's a good selection.
I just for someone who's only a 6th round pick, there might have been other players that I would prefer who got better draft capital or in kind of a similar spot. Oh, Ronald Jones. Yeah, I actually would prefer Ronald Jones over Keontae Ingram, but I hate Ronald Jones.
Hey, Jeremy, listen. Tyler prefers one of your picks.
Yes, actually, that was the highest player available on my board, Ronald Jones. So, Jeremy gets an A for Ronald Jones. What were the odds that we heard the day where I gave an A for Ronald Jones?
Melvin Gordon. Ooh, I like that. The slate.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon was a player that I was considering. So another running back kind of in this same mold, handcuff style. Josh Palmer. And yeah, you just kind of, when you didn't take a lot of running backs early, like I didn't, you often want to load up in these later rounds on those handcuff style running backs. KJ Osborne. I don't really see the upset with KJ Osborne. So
are you taking the one player I have in my queue right now? I think you are.
Maybe not.
You did not.
Probably not.
I'm not gonna say it.
Darrell Henderson, for me, I just, again, in the same line of those high upside running backs. And if they hit, I can either play them or flip them, depending on how my team is doing. So, I tend to like drafting those higher upside running backs in this range. Let's see who was in your Jarvis Landry. That's kind of interesting.
That is interesting, this slate.
Yeah, it's still, there was other players I might have liked a little bit better, but not a bad choice. Kenneth Gainwell. Oh, interesting. He's another player I would have considered.
My player did not get selected.
Oh, who's it going to be? Tim Patrick. I can't say that I really like Tim Patrick.
I do. Improved offense. He's shown he could play.
Yeah,
football,
I probably.
That's what you want. That's what you want. The 15th round. People that can play football.
Low. I'm probably too low on Tim Patrick, but I understand why people would like it. Would like him with the offense and with Jerry Jeudy's arrest and all that. I see the Hassan Haskins, the handcuff to Derrick Henry. I kind of actually like him a little bit. And then Galladay, Higbee. I mean, Higbee kind of but Galladay, I guess. I don't know. Galladay's so weird. It seems like he's cooked, but he's owed so much money.
He is owed a lot of money. That contract was.
All right, last round.
Oh boy, what am I gonna do? Well, I think I'm gonna go to the waiver wire.
Oh, Pierre Strong. Interesting.
Tight end.
Gus Edwards.
Hoping for good health.
I don't think he's healthy.
I know, but in the 16th round, you have to take that chance.
Valdez Scantling. Brevin Jordan. I don't mind.
I would have preferred Robinson 2 or 3 rounds sooner, but
yeah. So now it's my turn. And I don't know. There's really nobody left that I like all that much, but I will, just in case it goes this way. Although I find the odds that pays off kind of low. But there are some teams that are desperate where quarterback is not a strength. So in case Trubisky wins the starting job from the start of things, I can definitely sell him for more than this value. And if he doesn't, then I can just cut him and move on. There's no other player I really wanted at this point.
That's understandable. We're late, and it's. I mean,
Donovan Peoples-Jones. I do not like him. I don't believe in him at all. I think David Bell is going to Well, speaking of players, I don't believe in.
And David Bell, yeah.
Hardman.
That's who I thought was on the board. I just didn't realize he went off when I picked Wandale.
Yeah, no, I love David Bell.
I still can't believe he got the draft capital. We thought he was day 3.
I know. Kenny and Mitch have serious weapons. Just not sure if they can get the ball to them. Yeah, that's always the concern. But yeah, I just don't believe in Donovan Peoples-Jones. I think David Bell is going to be the wide receiver 2, even just from the jump.
I guess the draft it's done on my phone, but it's not done on the computer.
That's so weird because it's done on the computer on my end.
I'm going to refresh the page.
Yeah, refresh the page.
Yep, we're done.
Yeah, we finished it off with Gerald Everett and actually Evan Ingram, who was the highest player left on my board. Close to it. So, we won't talk about all the teams, but what do you think of your team? highlight it.
Yeah. I mean, I love Kyle Pitts at 110 and a 1.75. Like, I could just plug him in for the next 8 to 9 to 10 years and just be okay with it. Quarterback it's all right.
Yeah, there's nothing else beyond.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I would have went wide receiver a little heavier earlier, but you never know how the board's going to fall.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
so, I was going to say, what about your team? Do you like yours?
I like my team a lot better.
Of course you drafted it. I hope you do.
True. Well, do you like your team better or my team?
I kind of like my team better.
Okay. Well, I just like I don't know. I feel like I was able to get all of these young wide receivers. And then, I still have Akers at least to have one running back. And then, have some depth at quarterback with Pickett. And Daniel Jones is kind of play QB3 now. Pickett's play QB3 later, or if Tua fails. And then I got a lot of value on those wide receivers I liked, and then stacked some high upside running backs. And I would have continued to do that if we'd had 5-10 more rounds. I would have just taken more of those running backs to try to fill the void. But anyway, you want to take the draft down, and then we'll close the show.
I just gotta remember how to do it. There we go.
Yeah, so I'll take year 1 win and rebuild for 3. Fair enough.
Hey, your return on investment would still be in the positives.
True. Have a good day. Good draft. Thank you. So if you're here, you made it to the end of the video or the podcast, if you're in the podcast app, just leave it a like, a review on podcast app, comment on YouTube. Make sure if you're on YouTube or the podcast app, subscribe or follow the podcast or the YouTube channel. And beyond that, our Twitter accounts are right there.
Yep.
Anything you want to tell the people?
I got nothing to add. You know where to find me. I'll be here next week. Every week,
Tuesday
next week. I almost screwed that one up.
4 p.m. Eastern. So different day, different time, but we'll still be here.
Yep.
But yeah, beyond that, I'll put out the StreamYard or the show soon, so you guys can see that it's at a different time, and hopefully that reminds you. And if you hit the bell, you'll be notified about all of our future shows. And I'll keep doing those short videos if there's any news. I didn't do one on Nick Foles because we were about to go live, so we just covered it on the show. But if any news breaks between now and then, I will do those short videos once again. Yeah, thanks guys. And back-to-back Tuesday. Yep, it's coming up next week. But yeah, for just everyone who listened, thank you, and I will see you all next week. Peace.
Cheers.